Yes. No press. No press. In fact, all the press, British press, have refused to report on my book.
It's not refused, it's probably just...
No, they've refused. No, actually, they've contacted... There's plenty of press that wanted to write reviews of it.
Post, did it?
Pardon?
I read a piece in the Huffington Post.
Oh, the Huffington Post, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Quite a long article.
Yeah, that wasn't about that. He hadn't read the book. That was an interview I done with him in here.
Oh, it was just an interview.
Yeah.
It looked like he had read a book, but...
No, he hadn't read the book. I just talked about a lot what was in the book because the book was coming out now.
Two pieces, though. There was another one by Huffington Post about Quilliam. That was
That was because I'd sent them the chapter on Quilliam.
Are you recording?
Oh Jesus, you're the most paranoid woman in the world, man. I'm not allowed to look at my phone without you telling me I'm recording.
Why don't you put it on the table?
Because I'm looking, I'm getting messages. Look, regular messages. People are messaging me. I mean.
So, have you actually visited? Because the other time on the phone you said that you were going to visit countries in Europe.
See the problems.
Migrants, you said you were going to...
I went to Dresden and I filmed. I'll show you the video after this. So when I went to Dresden, I went to the refugee centres because I want to see myself. In fact, there was a 58-year-old woman raped this week in Dresden. This week again, yeah, by 3 refugees. Dresden is a city that had no problems with Muslims. There was nothing. They had none of this. And overnight, they have got huge. I'll show you the video in a sec. You've got to see the size of the refugee centres. Now, I went and videoed the refugee centre, and within minutes, I had them all coming out trying to get aggressive and shout and scream at me because I wasn't allowed to film. These people don't realise they're not in Syria anymore. They're not in Pakistan or Afghanistan. They're in Germany, in Europe. If I want to film, I'll film. Yeah? And that's the problem. They're coming with their aggression, their hostility. I was just there to show for myself what's happening. Look at the size of these.
Show you around.
A German lad. One of the Germans gave us a tour of all the refugee centres, showed us where where there's problems with them, what they're doing, where the women are scared to come out late at night. All the different issues. I don't know if you've seen this video that's gone up today of a 16-year-old young German girl, and she's trying to tell us her experiences with refugees, Muslims, who are sexually making comments towards her, hostility towards her. And Facebook keep taking...
Where did you see this?
I'll show you it. It's on. So she put it on Facebook. She's only 16. Really attractive young girl, but she's writing about... So she's done a 20-minute video saying what is happening to my country. These people are not escaping war. They're bringing war to my country. Yeah, and all the people like possibly people like yourself, all the people that are making apologists for refugees and all these different things, when war does break out, when crimes do break out like Cologne, it's actually, you've actually helped this happen. And not myself, I've got no blood on my hands, I will have no guilt, I will carry no guilt. I'm doing everything I can to stop it. But all the people who are making excuses for what's happening, they're facilitating and accommodating the rape of our women, the destruction of our culture, and terrorism. And it's their fault. It's their fault. I'm not saying every refugee. What I'm saying,
things out of proportion.
No, you tell that to the women that were raped in Cologne on New Year's Eve. You tell that to the 130 people who are dead in Paris.
Are you saying those criminals represent the whole refugee population?
I didn't say that. I said that they were refugees, and they've done.
They don't represent everybody.
But there's 130 people dead. That's 130 families. That's 130 mums without a son or daughter. That's children without mums and dads. I stand with them. I don't stand with the people coming in from Syria or Libya or Afghanistan or Iraq who are running through countries smashing rocks at police. I don't stand with them. I don't care about them as much as I care about the people who...
criminals in every community.
Yeah, but there's not... Well, show me the criminals in the Sikh community who have blown up 130 people in the last 2-3 months. It hasn't happened. It won't happen. Tell me why. It's like... I'm just saying, when people are making these excuses for them, all the people who held up these placards saying refugees welcome, yeah, that's their fault. Don't be scratching their head when all these women are getting raped and bombs are going off, because you knew full well that in amongst that 1.5 million people who are coming to Germany, any idiot can tell some people are going to get through that are not here for their best interests. Some people are coming through to attack us. Some people are coming through to launch attacks on our women. Yeah? Anyone knows that. An idiot knows that. So when people are saying that, like even I believe yourself, you're of that opinion. I'm not. I'm of the opinion that we should be protecting everyone that's in Europe. I'm of the opinion that we have free democratic countries. We have that for a reason. We've built that. We've got ourselves away from kings and monarchs and dictatorships in our own communities, and we've built a union of democracies, and we're destroying them. We're destroying them. And I'm not destroying them. I'm doing everything I can to prevent them being destroyed. But many people in media, journalists, politicians, the people who don't live in these communities, they're playing their part. They're all playing their part. And they'll all be...
Don't live in the communities. I had a lot of experience with Chinese, refugee.
Listen, Chinese refugees are going to cause this country no problem. We all know that. Yeah, I'm not on about Chinese refugees. I'm on about refugees who come here with a completely different mindset, a completely different ideology. They come here for dominance. They come here to dominate you, not to integrate.
You think Syrian refugees come here to dominate you?
I think that Muslims and their religion will teach them that Islam has to dominate. Yeah? They will change our culture. They will come in huge numbers. Where are all the women and children?
I've seen families.
Oh, a couple. Yeah, I've seen a couple as well.
I've seen various documentaries.
Okay, well the facts are that 90% are young fighting age Muslim men. They're the facts. They're the UN facts. They're all the demographical statistical facts. So yeah, we got a few women. I'd be all for opening up our embassies to women and children. I'm all for that. That's real refugees. I'm not for these young fighting age Muslim men who come here and absolutely take the piss out of us. I'm not for that.
Do you have good contacts in Dresden?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What sort of people are they?
Great people.
Yeah, but how do you know them and what do they do?
They run. So what you find actually is that they're all, because with the English Defence League, it was limited to just portraying us as a real poor working class group. Like the lad who runs the Czech group is a scientist. I think the lady who we're meeting in Copenhagen is a solicitor. I think that when I met all the people in Dresden as well, there was a vet, one of them owned a vets. It's all very ordinary, well-educated people. I mean, really educated people like yourself should be able to pick up the Quran, the Hadiths, and understand what's happening. That's what I can't grasp.
The thing is, I'm not really, to be honest with you, I'm not interested in religion.
Have you read the Quran?
No.
No,
I've never read any religious texts.
So what are you defending then?
I'm not defending.
You blindly. No.
I'm saying.
You blindly. But that text influences those people.
I'm actually atheist.
Oh, no, but
I don't believe in God.
Yeah, but you're blind.
But I believe in people's right to religion.
Yeah, but you don't even understand the religion that they believe in.
Well, I don't understand Buddhism either.
But we know it's not. Buddhists aren't killing people. If they were, I'd start looking into it.
They are Buddhists killing people too.
Yes. So,
just you don't know about.
So what I mean is, so you want to respect people's belief without even knowing anything about what that belief is.
But it's not about what is said in the book, because
it's about what Muhammad
is interpreted over time.
Forget about how it's interpreted. No, it doesn't. The Quran has never evolved. It's the same Quran.
That means the interpretation evolves.
No, it doesn't.
Just like the Bible.
How does it evolve?
The Christian Bible.
What?
Different people interpret it in different ways.
ISIS have evolved. It hasn't evolved. It will not evolve. It's the same book. It hasn't changed in 1400 years. So Muhammad, let me ask you about Muhammad. You know Prophet Muhammad?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say.
So what do you think of that?
That is a very, very particular time, so long ago.
But Muslims, you ask any Muslim now in Britain, what is your goal? Yeah, they'll say to emulate the Prophet Muhammad. Then you ask them if anything he did was wrong, and they'll say no. Yeah. So you, as a journalist who's talking about these issues, you really need to understand what it is you're talking about, because it's ridiculous.
When you ask a Christian,
I'll tell you what it is. It's complete ignorance.
Christians are the same.
No, they're
Many
not.
Christians are the same. They don't
you are very ignorant.
Bible. They don't question the Bible. Many Christians I know, they don't question the Bible at all.
Well, talk about Jesus didn't kill anyone, he didn't rape anyone, he didn't murder anyone. Muhammad did. What I mean is, you defend something you know nothing about, and then
not defending. And then I don't believe that this person represents anything.
You don't believe Muhammad represents Muslims?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying I don't believe that Quran represents the communities.
You don't believe the Quran represents the Muslim communities?
I don't believe you can judge the whole communities by
what you
take from the Quran so many years ago.
But can you not see that what they're doing is inspired by the Quran? Many Muslims in this world?
But there's other reasons, other factors too, not just religion. Why people become radicalized and become extreme.
But you don't know them because you don't know anything about the religion. You've just said that.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm not interested in religion.
You should be, because you're very critical of people who are against it. Surely you can see that.
Because I know people. I know people who.
Because you know nice Muslims.
No, because I know China and I've been.
China.
I've lived there and I know what it's like to be taken that right. You know, the government had the right to take away people's right to.
That's what Islam does. Islam takes away the right to leave. Islam takes away the right to free thinking. Free thinking, the fundamental right to think for yourself, is taken away. Islam is a bigger threat than anything. You need to understand that. That's the problem. You don't understand it. You're not allowed freedom of speech in Islam. You're not allowed to criticise Muhammad. You'll be killed. You'll be massacred. You'll be murdered. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to leave. It's punishable by death. In Muslim countries, that's.
You're talking about very.
I'm not talking about interpretations. No, I'm talking about 87% of Pakistanis believe that apostasy should be punishable by death. 87%. That's not minority.
Why don't you come to Taham's one day?
Yeah,
and just walk around the street.
I'll tell you
I
why.
Guess you can't. You get.
No, well, why do you think? Go on. What do you think will happen if I walk around the streets to Hamlet?
I'm just saying.
And I will do it. I will do it if you want to do it. To prove a point.
Talk to people what they really think. You know, like one-to-one.
I talk to Muslims all the time. I'm born in Luton. You understand
I
that?
really think they are much more liberal than you think.
What, Muslims or Islam?
Muslims.
Yeah, they probably are.
Average Muslims.
No, no, not more liberal. They're just not devout. The average Muslim doesn't know the Quran either.
Yeah,
so what?
Why you are
my problem
putting them under the
because the
same
more
blanket?
influence that Islam has, the more madrasas, the more children that are brainwashed into this from the age of 4, the more problems we're going to have. Yeah. Surely you get that. I don't understand how I can meet so many educated journalists and just think you actually don't
blame one religion blame everything on one religion. That doesn't make any sense.
It's not a religion. It's a political ideology. It has a warlike manifesto, inheritance, tax. It has everything. What other religions have that? It's not religion. It's an ideology. It's not a religion. It's an ideology. And I think the sooner that educated people like yourself, who write books, read books, and you're a journalist, you really need to understand Islam. And I'll tell you what, if you really want to understand it, just go to Kabul. Go to Kabul and walk through town like that.
I'm going to take a course in a mosque.
Yeah, in the mosque. Let's go. If you want to know about Islam, don't go to an imam, do you? Because he's going to tell you
They
everything.
have courses for beginners.
Yeah. You do that. Jesus, like talking to a brick wall.
No. I think it's the attitude you have. If you adopt a different attitude,
It's not an
you're
attitude,
going to see
it's
that
passion.
people are going to be.
It's not an attitude, it's passion, and it's honest. I think we should always be honest. Yeah? I think we should always be honest. So I'm honest.
You know what? When I met Anjan Chowdhury, I was very surprised how liberal he looked.
How liberal he looks.
The mannerism was completely.
He's a very nice man. Like he comes
Yes,
across as a very nice man.
yes.
Yeah, very soft-spoken. Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah, but he wants to
wasn't
ki-
what the
he
media-
wants to
you know,
kill-
You complain about the media portraying you in a way.
So you thought Anjan was okay?
No, I'm saying what the media tell you is one thing, and the real thing is completely different.
No,
Just like you think the media portray you wrongly,
yeah.
right? When people, when journalists actually come to sit with you and talk to you face to face, they think different, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Anjan Chowdhury.
No, Anjem
he's-
Chowdhury wants to execute homosexuals. Anjem Chowdhury wants to bury women in the floor up to their waist and smash them with bricks if they commit adultery. It's not the same
I'm not
thing.
defending his views, and I haven't talked to him about
He is a
that
barbaric,
I talked to him
backwards
about
barbarian.
the Lutheran protests.
Well, maybe, but that's the problem. When journalists go, you should talk to him about that. You should ask him in his society what he'd do to you as a non-Muslim, and he'll tell you quite openly: convert, pay the jizya, or die. That's what he'll tell you. And then here you are saying he was actually all right. He's actually all right. When I met Anjem Chowdhury, he was a nice guy.
No. What I'm saying is, it's not. He's not a hate preacher.
He's not a hate preacher.
I don't think he is.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Someone help me! Oh, for God's sake! Oh
If someone called you a
God!
hate preacher,
Oh my God! Anjem Chowdhury's not a hate preacher. Arthur, what is he then?
a bit like you, he's led.
So Anjem Chowdhury's not a hate preacher. Do you know that 60% of his former pupils are in jail on terrorism? 60%.
But you know,
Do you know that he radicalised Michael Adebayo?
Really
you know the man
to look into
the man who beheaded Lee Rigby. Yeah, he radicalised him. So do you still not think he's a hate preacher?
a lot of that was not just to do with religion. Religion is the tool, but a lot of it is to do with foreign policies.
Foreign policy.
A lot of it is to do
So
with
why was Michael
Iraq,
Okay, listen. Why was Michael Adebayo going to fight jihad in Kenya if it's to do with foreign policy?
the different variants
Different variants.
of.
So, okay, foreign policy. Why are ISIS taking all young Yazidi girls as sexual slaves? Foreign policy.
Defending them. I'm
Why
not
are
defending their
Nigerians
practice.
being massacred every day by Boko Haram?
Defending them. Nobody's defending. I'm not defending
You're
them.
making excuses.
No, I'm not.
It's got nothing to do with foreign policy. Take foreign policy out of the equation, they still want to dominate the world.
ISIS didn't come from nowhere. There was no ISIS before the war.
Are you joking? ISIS has been around for 1400 years.
No.
Yeah, the ideology that is ISIS, just because they've given themselves a name, ISIS is what Muhammad was doing 1400 years ago. Exactly the same teachings, exactly the same
No,
actions.
I'm talking about the organisation.
Well, the organisation has just changed its name.
The regime.
No. Al Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram, Hamas, all the same.
So for you, it's all the same thing. It's just
They are.
Islam then.
It is pure literalist Islam. That's
You
not.
don't distinguish.
Well, I know because I've read the Quran, the Hadiths, and some of the Hadiths, and I've read the biography of Muhammad. You don't know because you haven't read anything.
You only read it in prison.
So what? Go to prison then. Educate yourself. You might know what's going on in the world.
All right, okay. You win on that one because I haven't read the Quran, but I
But
don't believe.
But you don't believe Anjem Chowdhury's a hate preacher?
I haven't talked to him about everything.
Oh,
I had 1 hour meeting with him just about the war and about the
am I a hate preacher?
I wouldn't call you that. I think you're very misguided.
But Anjem Chowdhury's not.
I just said you and him they have some similarities.
Yeah. So.
Maybe you should shake hands. Maybe you should meet and shake hands.
Yeah. Jesus, you are so far out. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I can't believe that you're like. That's the problem. Like, because now I
come from another background, right? I come from a completely different cultural background. I have my own experiences, so you cannot expect me to think like an English. And I know a lot of people here have this view of Islam. I don't come from that background.
No, you don't understand Islam. That's why you don't have that view. You don't understand it. You've already said that. You know nothing about it.
A lot of English people don't know anything about it.
No, actually, a lot of people are reading, listening. You don't have to know much. Just open your eyes. Just look around you. Look at all. I could show you the polls and the statistics and what Muslims think in Syria, in Afghanistan, in Saudi Arabia, in Iran. What they think on feminism, what they think on homosexuals, what they think on non-Muslims, and it's not a minority mindset. It's a majority because they think that way culturally, but also because their religious teachings have taught them to think that way. In the Quran, it says you can beat your wife. Did you know that? As a feminist, did you know that in the Quran it openly says that you can beat your wife?
But people don't have to follow it.
Yes, they do. As a Muslim, you have to follow the teachings of Muhammad.
The Bible from beginning to end, there must be something.
That's not the word of God.
Right.
The Bible's not the word of God. The Bible's not the word of God. It's a load of stories put together. Muhammad, as a Muslim, you have to follow the teachings of Muhammad. Muhammad said, if your wife disobeys you, you beat her.
I don't believe all Muslim men do that. I really don't.
I'm talking about the teachings that are in the Quran.
Yeah, but people don't always follow what's in the book.
No, because they're not devout. If they're devout Muslims, they do.
So you see, there is distinction.
Yeah, non-devout and
You
devout.
cannot put everybody under the same blanket.
I'm not putting them all under the same blanket.
You're saying it's all Islam, it's not.
I'm saying it is Islam. It is Islam. It's not all Muslims, it is Islam. Islam says you can beat your wife. That can't be argued. It's there in black and white. Get me a Quran now and I'll show you. Islam says 14 times you can take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves. That cannot be argued. It's in the Quran, black and white. If you read it, you'd understand.
Are you saying in the Christian Bible there is nothing that is outdated?
No.
And backwards?
What, the Old Testament or the New Testament?
Old.
Well, that's why
Is it going to be backwards?
That's why we have a yes.
Of course it is.
That's why we have a new one. It's called evolution. Reformation.
Are you Catholic?
No, you've read my book.
Yeah, of course.
You've read my book.
You're a traitor, isn't it?
I'm not a traitor, no. I just don't believe that priests should be shagging kids. And the whole church supporting and hiding the fact. I think it's disgusting.
It's because of the EPL, wasn't it?
What was?
You can't say you're a Catholic.
No, I don't. You've read my book. I was just Darren. You've read my book. I don't go to Catholic church. I was brought up a Catholic. But that was the same as anything. Muslims are just brought up as Muslims. I do not believe in the Catholic Church. I think if the Pope, as he says recently, about letting refugees in, open up the Vatican then. Yeah? You let all these young male actually, you'll probably let all the kids in the Vatican.
When are you going to see Nick next?
Nick? Well, I don't know. He's probably going to have a lot to say, isn't he, if you're contacting him about this.
When are you going to meet him?
I don't know.
Do you meet him regularly?
No, if he's ever rang me when he's in Luton, I meet anyone, as you've seen now. I meet anyone. This week I've had a meeting with Samuel Yakub.
All right, okay.
Yeah. I had a meeting with Zafar.
You like her?
No. No. I had a meeting with Zafar Hussein. I had a meeting with I saw Mozambique. I meet with anyone. I'm open to dialogue and discussion with anyone because I know I'm right and what I'm arguing for is right. So I'm happy to meet anyone.
When is your BBC documentary coming out?
I don't know.
It is going to come out soon, right?
Hopefully, who knows? The BBC have organisations, as we found out this week, they have a editor's agenda, all of them. So if it paints me too favourably, then I'm sure it won't come out. No. But there's alternative media now, and people can see for themselves what's going on, what's being said. You know, when are these?
You're going to be really busy in February, aren't you?
Yeah, I think for the next year it's going to be hectic.
You are going to be.
Yeah, I need to slow down. February when we get after February 6th, because I've done again the last couple of months. What I did with English Fluency is allow it to take over my life. I'm not at home. I'm away for the next 3 days again. I'm away next week. I've been away last week.
What does your wife say about it?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Don't know. So when we get to February 6th, I'll probably put the brakes on a little bit, but I'll. And that's why I want other people to come in and help, Paul West and Anne-Marie, because we need help. But at the same time.
And you're going to spend some time in Ireland as well.
I'll be in Ireland for not long. I can't. I need to get back. I've got too much going on at home. What do you reckon?
Let's talk again about Ireland.
Yeah, once I've been.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's my island.
That's another steak dinner. But please.
That's another steak. Let's talk over.
Can you please don't talk about? Can you please don't put anything on Facebook?
I won't put anything on Facebook.
Thank you. And please don't send that PDF around. Yeah.
The PDF. I'm not gonna. Relax.
I just don't know. My God, even Nick, I thought he could be trusted.
I just can't believe you don't think Andrew Chowdhury's a hate preacher. I think what that does with a comment like that, it takes away any credibility to anything you're going to say in your book.
Because I only had, as I said, a very short meeting.
You know a lot about Andrew Chowdhury, enough to know he's a hate preacher. Everyone does.
What do you mean by hate preacher?
Well, what do you mean by saying he's not a hate preacher? You mean you don't think he preaches hate?
I don't think that's called hate.
You don't think it's called hate?
Hate is a very strong word.
You think hate's a very strong word? So
I think some of his ideas are very backward.
But you don't think he's hateful?
Hate.
He's not preaching hate. Jesus. You see, for me,
backward. A lot of backward ideas.
They're Islamic ideas, by the way.
But yeah,
that's why they're backward. So Islam's backward. You agree Islam's backward?
Some of his ideas are backward, but I don't think he preaches hate.
Okay.
That is another level.
That's another level, yeah? So promoting
too strong.
Terrorist organisations. You know that he's on a terrorism charge now, yeah?
Yes.
But you don't think he promotes hate?
You see, I have to find out before I can say he is what the media tell me.
Okay, yeah.
It's true. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't think he is, but
you don't
I don't
think
know.
he is?
I haven't found out.
You think he's a nice guy when you met him? No. That's what you said.
Well, just like you're quite nice. You know, when you talk to people face to face.
Good looking as well. Good looking as well.
Yeah. People can say Tommy Robinson is not evil at all.
He's not.
He's all right, isn't he?
He's all right. He's just he's just smaller than I thought.
People ask me.
Yeah.
People ask me, what's it like? He's all right. Is he really all right? That's what people think, isn't it?
That's people in your circles. We know what your circles are, don't we?
To be honest, most people will actually think it's wrong to
talk to me.
To you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
That's fascism.
So fascism.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's
not wanting to listen to another side of an opinion.
They have their point of view. They don't want to give certain ideas a platform.
Yeah, that's fascism.
I don't agree with that.
That's fascism. Yeah. You agree that's
fascism?
It is fascism.
I don't agree with that.
I agree with free speech for everybody, yeah. That's why I'm sitting here now. Yeah. I'm full up anyway.
Is there anything you want to add? For the video.
Is there anything you want to add?
There's loads of stuff.
Go on then, crack on.
No, I mean, there's quite a bit already.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because the video is going to be half an hour.
What are these articles for? What are these interviews?
This is for publicity.
This is for publicity, yeah. About the book?
Yeah, so it will be
about your book?
February, yeah. But I'll obviously try to mention your book when...
well, thank you very much.
If they don't cross it out.
If they don't cross it out, you think they'll cross it out?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You said you approached someone, was it Independent, about the book, and
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me, but they refused to do a.
Put it on Twitter.
No, wait. They refused to do a review because they didn't want to publicise my book.
They didn't even reply to that one.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think people wanted to. It's giving you platform.
It's giving me platform, and we can't have that, can we? We can't have honest platform. We have to have an agenda-driven platform.
To be honest, my book is quite a big platform for you.
Yeah. How many books do you think you'll sell? How many books do you think it will sell off the top of your head?
I have no idea.
Guess.
With your help, probably 0.
No, guess. Because how many? Did your last book, was that a big seller?
Not bestseller, but maybe 8 or 9,000.
8 or 9,000.
Something like that.
How long? Over how long?
A couple of years.
Over a couple of years. And that was in.
It's not that good.
And that was in all bookshops and everything like that. Well, I'll
Are
sell.
you going to write another one?
I'll sell more than that this year. Mine won't be in a bookshop.
Maybe you should give up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In fact, no publisher or agent would touch my book.
You mean this particular one?
Yeah.
You have approached people?
But, yeah, of course I did. But they wanted. One of them wanted to write their own ending. So
You actually publish your book. You have a publisher's name, though.
yeah, that's just it's
Who is it?
It's self-published.
Is it BMP?
Is it BMP? See, here we go again. Look. Is it because I'm?
I checked it.
Yeah.
It's based in Yorkshire, wasn't it?
Well, they've got nothing to do with the BMP if you checked it. You know that.
I think somebody said.
Oh, somebody in one of your circles. Yeah.
Is it or not?
No, it's nothing to do with the BNP. Never has been. It's a publishing company, and but that's not a publisher, like publisher who puts it in the shop or anything like that. You need a publisher to put the book out. But what I'm saying is, none of the agents or the mainstream companies, for exactly what you just said, will report my book, even though you've read my book.
But you have approached them?
Yes. Do you think my book incites hate?
I think the problem with you is not your writing style.
Yep.
It's the content, obviously.
Okay.
Because I think it's quite readable. You know, it's very easy
So
to read.
the fact that I'm telling the truth about Islam is the reason they won't touch it.
It's the content. It's people think that you are being prejudiced.
Being prejudiced. Yeah. I think they're being prejudiced, don't you? Anyway, who needs them? Who needs them?
But,
I get free steak every day.
One?
No, I'm not. I wanted mainly to get my story out in case anything happens to me.
What will happen to you?
Who knows? I want everyone to know this is what happened. This is who did what. So then, in years to come, people can look back at it and think how outrageous and ridiculous our country was at that moment in time. So that's why I wanted it out more than anything. I'd have put it out for nothing at the time. So I just wanted to tell the story. And I obviously wanted to, tell the truth. Let people know what happens. What happens when you try and criticise Islam in Britain.
I hope, because you're still young, one day you might change your view.
I hope one day you read the Quran.
And you know what?
I hope one day you pull yourself out of this ignorance.
Very soon. Don't you worry about that. But
well,
you know what? Maybe you should go into writing books rather than doing.
Well, you've just wrote a book for you've just wrote a book for a few years based around Islam. And you haven't even read the Quran. I found that completely ignorant.
Based around Islam.
Based around people who are it's based around people who are opposing Islam. Yeah.
No.
Everyone who you wrote about is opposing Islam.
Far right.
Who are opposing Islam?
It's not
the far right.
It's not just immigration.
I'm not far right.
Immigration.
Would you say I'm in the far right? Would you say Darren's far right? It's not. Your book's not about the far right. It's about people who you decide to call far right opposing Islam. And if I was writing a book about something people are opposing, and I had 6 characters and these people are opposing something, I'd want to understand what they're opposing, which would be the first thing that you should have done. I think, as a journalist, as a writer, you should have tried to understand what they're opposing. So then when you write about it, you can write about it with a bit of knowledge of the situation you're writing about. Instead...
No, but they're not just opposing Islam. They're also against immigration.
Who is?
Refugees.
Who is?
Far right in general.
No, but I'm the main character in your book. I'm not against immigration. When have I said that?
It's not. The book is not just about you.
No, okay, but you call me far right in the book, right?
Well, in the spectrum, in the political spectrum, your views are more or less, maybe not so much these days.
No, my views. I've never been on the far right.
I mean, on the political
spectrum, my views are not on the far right.
Right of centre right.
So I'm not far right.
You are further away from the centre right. So that's what far right means.
Why am I further away from the centre right? How? In what way? What am I saying?
Maybe you're getting closer and closer to them now.
I don't need to get closer. I've always been the same. I've said the same the whole time. The point I'm making is I'm not far right. I never have been. But then people just want to put me in this bracket because it makes themselves feel better about when they're writing stories. It's like, well, he's saying this because he's far right. But you wouldn't understand what I'm saying because you haven't read the Quran or the Bible or anything about Islam.
I don't have to read the Quran to understand.
Islam? Yes, you do.
No,
To understand what we're opposing?
Islam.
To understand why I'm so dedicated to what I am? Yes, you do. You do. To understand why people have got opposition to Islam, you have to understand Islam. And the first thing you can do, if I can give you any advice, is to do that. So next time you don't look so silly.
Okay.
Are we finished? We're finished?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll drop you off.
When you come back from Ireland, is it alright to talk?
If we can meet there's a restaurant in St Albans called Prime, yeah, and it is so nice. No, seriously, yeah, and it's £40 for.
Where is it?
It's in St Albans, so we meet there next time. I'm happy to meet.
St Albans.
St Albans, yeah.
It's closer to London.
Yeah, deal. Sound. That's it. Job done.
Is that how you treat people these days?
Yeah.